The question number 9 is to identify and graph piecewise defined functions. As the name denotes, piecewise means there are some pieces of graphs. We will look into the problems. You can see this is the piecewise equation. They will mention a x value, which is a very important thing. Now in this graph, so if you graph this coordinate at x equals 3, this is somewhere around 3, there will be a change in the graph, there will be a discontinuity. In the sense, what happens? Anything that is greater than 3 will follow this equation. So anything that's greater than 3 will have the first equation. Now what is this first equation? Half x minus 1. Now there are various ways to graph this. You can just substitute some values at 3, 4 and easily do it. I would suggest that because otherwise it would be confusing. So I will start with 3 obviously because x is 3. So instead of x, just substitute the value of 3. So half into 3 minus 1. Half into 3 is 1.5 minus 1 is 0.5. So what happens? The first value is, if this is 1, 0.5 here. Okay, I'll just make a dot now. Next one, half into 4 minus 1. So half of 4 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. So at 4, it is 1. Okay, let me just make the dots. Now, this is the first equation that's greater than 3. You can't take anything values of x less than 3. It should be greater than, so 3 is also not included, but I'll tell you why we take 3. 3, 4, 5 like that. Now, whenever you have greater than or less than, it is a whole like this. Whereas if it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, then it's a point in the graph. Now the starting point at 3 here, since it's only greater than, you start with the whole and then this graph continues something like this. That is the first part. The second part, how would it be? Here, minus 2x plus 3, right? So just substitute values of 3, 2 and less than 3. Anything, 2, 1, 0 and so on. So how would you do is minus 2x plus 3. Instead of x, I'll start with 3 plus 3. It is minus 6 plus 3, that is negative 3. Now this is the point somewhere over here, minus 3. I'll just make a point now. And then let's take 0 because it's very easy value to solve. 2 times 0 plus 3. At 0, it is over here somewhere plus 3. Okay, this is the point. Now here, when you start graphing, you have to draw a line, right? If you take an intermediate point, it'll fall within this line. Say if you are taking 1 plus 3, so it will be minus 2 plus 3 equals positive 1. So at x equals 1, y is somewhere over here. Okay, and it falls in that line only. So here when you start at 3, this is very important. You must take a point, closed point, and now join these. Okay, that was not a linear graph. It should be linear, it should be straight. Use a scale. That will be the graph. So your final graph will be looking something like this. That's it. Let's directly jump to the answer for a minute. You can see this is the whole and it goes over here indefinitely, and you can see this is the another graph. Now it's not accurate, but that's what it is. Here at 3 I've stopped. These are the important points to know. But you will have 4 options of graph, so it is very easy to select. Now I hope this is clear how I graphed it. That's the actual way to graph it up. But now I'll tell you a shortcut method to easily select the correct answer. So you will have 4 options of graph, isn't it? Now take out your calculators. Here you need to just select any point. Say I'm selecting 1. Now 1 is less than 3. So use this equation and substitute 1 instead of x. So it's minus 2 into 1 plus 3. What is the value? Y is also 1. At x1, y is 1. Yes, correct. Choose another point. Say 0. Substitute instead of x as 0, it's 3. Is it correct? Yes. That means this graph is correct. There might be 2 options with the same graph, but this graph might vary. So you need to choose the other, you need to choose the correct answer. So use this equation now. Now when we're starting this equation, use the first equation, that's greater than 3. So what I'll do is, I'll just substitute this value, 1 by 2, that's half of, what is x? You can choose anything, I'll choose 4 for now, minus 1. What's the answer? 1. Is it true? At x equals 4, y is 1. Yes. Let me change this to 3. It's point half or 0.5. Is it true? Yes. Don't go before that because this does not exist less than 3, only greater than 3. Now within just 2 or 3 or 4, maximum 4 points of checking, you can easily eliminate all the other 4 options and then directly choose the correct answer. This is how we can easily do the shortcut method. Let's do one more problem here. Now here this domain is basically all real numbers and the range is over here all values which are greater than -3 at this point, because from the graph you can say, what is this domain and range? D is domain, that is whichever where the graph, which parts of the graph is on the x-axis. Like you can have any x values here. This is linear, so it's always all real numbers. Okay, doesn't matter what. Real range, R is range, is also real numbers for linear function, but for piecewise it is not like that. Look at this. Is there any, see this is going up, but is there any part of the graph going down? No. So range is all the values above this, because y-axis is only above this. That's the range. Now here we will see one more problem. Here let's look into the answer and then solve. Yeah, this is the first part and this is the second part. Now how you basically do is, choose any equation. This is greater than 1, right? I'll choose that one. 2 into, instead of, I'll start with 1 minus 5. What is the answer? -3. Is it true? Yes. And a whole, this is very important. This might be, see, the graph might be same and the whole and the point might be different. So remember, when it's less than, see there is a line missing, so it's just a whole. Whereas it's greater than, there's too much extra line. That means make it a point. Okay, remember however you can remember. Now here, I have checked this point. Let me check one more point. 1 is done. So let me try greater than 1. So let me try for 2. Is it -1? X as yes. When x is 2, it's -1. Now you can change this to say 4 and check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yes, x is 3. Same thing, check for the other graph. It is 4 into x. I'll start with 1 -3. But now it should be reducing. See, the first value is yes, 1, correct. Now the x value should reduce. Let's start with take 0. At 0, is it at 1, 2, 3? Sorry, this is 0, 1, 2, 3. Yes, -3 is correct. Same way you can go further. You can even take, say, 0.5 and check. It's -1. 4x into less than. Yes, now at 0.5 over here, it's -1. Yes, correct. Can you see over here? And you can try -0.5. This is about 5. Yes, so you can check anything and the answer will be correct. This is how you eliminate the other graphs. Only one will give you the correct answer. If there are 2 graphs, but if the difference is with these points, make sure you understand whenever you have a point, sorry, whole, this is whole, it is either greater or less than only. But for a point, that means it's greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Okay, that's how we do it. So please go through the other problems. They are all same, straightforward. You can do the calculator method and directly check the answer. But if you graph them, it will be something like this. See here, less than is always, less than -3 is only, sorry, what I mean is this equation is having only less than. So it is a whole. Whereas this one is having a point. That's it. This next value is also same. You can check over here. Very easy, very straightforward. Here, see the domain and range is all real numbers. Both are all real numbers. Oh, sorry, range, not all real numbers. Look, all possible values above this point, above 3, 6, 7. All possible values above 7 and all possible values less than 4, right, are in the range. But these 2 points, look, is there any part of the graph within this? Y equals 5? No. That's the thing. So you must know that whatever is not there will be excluded. So range is not all real numbers. Here, these values are the excluded values. That is from year to year. That's how we do it. And see, it is greater than or equal to 7. Why? Because it's a point. It's a point, yeah. Whereas it's less than 4 because it's a whole over here, only less than. Same thing over here. Please try solving these by yourselves and then check for the answers. If you're doing the calculator method, you will have four options. Easily eliminate the options and make sure you see this whole and point properly and then select it. And this is the last problem, I believe. Yeah. And this is the answers. All are the same type. So just remember this method, easily solve this problem. Do practice more and more problems. You will be thorough, and during the exam, it will be much easier then.